All right, I'll call this meeting of the Town of Hilton Head Islands Planning Commission to order. First order of business is our flag, pledge of allegiance. Let me start by saying, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of
America,
and to
to
the
the
republic
republic for which
it
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with liberty and justice for
justice
all.
for all. Thank you. May I ask Teresa, are we in compliance with the Freedom of Information Act?
Yes, sir, we are.
Great. Teresa, may I ask you to call the roll, please?
Certainly. Mr. Siebold,
Here.
Mr. Alfred,
here,
Mr. Perry,
Here.
Mr. Campbell,
Here.
Mr. D'Arienzo,
Here.
Mr. Hens,
here,
Mr. Scanlon.
Here.
But Mr. Collett is expected and Mr. O'Neill is excused.
Fair enough. Thank you, Teresa. Our number 5 is the approval of the agenda. Does staff has any changes for us on the agenda?
No, sir.
Okay, great. May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Alan Perry, second from Bruce. All right, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 present approving the agenda, 7 zip. Approval of minutes.
So moved.
Pardon?
so moved.
Okay. You want to approve the minutes, you mean?
Yes,
Your motion for the minutes. Good. Thank you very much, Stephen. Do I have a second to approve the minutes? I need a second.
Second.
Okay. I have, who does that come from? Alan? Okay, thank you, Alan. And so let's have a show of hands. We're approving the minutes of the last meetings. Everybody got a hand up? Tom, how about you and Bruce?
I wasn't at that meeting. Mr.
Oh, I see. How about you, Bruce? Okay. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on that one. 6-0. The minutes are approved. Appearance by citizens. Teresa, anything?
Mr. Chairman, public comments concerning agenda items were to be submitted electronically via the Open Town Hall portal by 2 p.m. today. Upon the conclusion of the public comment period, there were no comments of record. In addition to submitting comments on the portal, citizens were provided the opportunity to call into the meeting to comment on agenda items and non-related agenda items. However, there were no requests to give comments by phone. Thank you.
Fair enough. We have no unfinished business at this point, so we'll move into new business. We're going to take up STDV 001-099-2021, a request from the fire rescue on behalf of David Carlick to name 7 streets in the Bailey's Point development: Sweet Spire Lane, Inland Oaks Drive, Heatherleaf Road, Carolus Lane, Needle Palm Court, Lone Cypress Trail, and Burrowwood Court, presented by the fire and rescue staff. Would staff like to make a presentation on these?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that would be from Becky Nugent. And we have our Deputy Fire Chief Administrator, Jahida Pfister, and Missy Luck, I believe, Senior Planner. Please go ahead, Becky, if you're first.
Okay. Okay, can you all see my screen?
Not yet. There we go.
Okay. All right, good afternoon. My name is Becky Nugent, and I am the town's 911 communications manager. I will be presenting the staff report for this application. Missy Lewick is the senior planner on this project, and she is also available if you have any questions. I'm going to give you an overview of the Bailey's Point development, then review the street name criteria, and then answer any questions you may have. Staff is recommending approval of this application. Bailey's Point is a proposed 210-unit residential development located on an undeveloped 29.4 acre parcel at the intersection of Spanish Wells and Jonesville Roads. Here you can see Spanish Wells Road and the intersection with Jonesville Road. The Bailey's Point development will be located within the property outlined in white. And here is for your convenience, is a zoomed in picture so you can see it a little more clearly. You can see Spanish Wells Road and Jonesville Road. You can also see there are a few existing houses adjacent to the development. Their addresses will not be affected, so they will be able to keep their addresses they currently have. And I'll now move into the layout of the subdivision on the next slide. Kind of slow, okay. Here's the site plan for Bailey's Point. The 7 proposed streets are highlighted in different colors so you're able to see. So you can see Heartleaf Road is in yellow, which intersects with Jonesville Road. Heartleaf Road connects to Sweet Spire Lane, which also intersects Jonesville Road. Across Jonesville Road is Lone Cypress Trail, and to the east and further up Jonesville Road is Burlwood Court. Inland Oaks Drive intersects with Spanish Wells Road and runs west to connect to Carolus Lane. Across the Spanish Wells Road is Needle Pond Court. So does anybody have any questions so far?
No.
Okay. Again, the Bailey's Point development will include 7 new streets that are listed here. The proposed street names have been vetted and approved by Hilton Head Island Fire Rescue, the town of Bluffton, and Beaufort County. Staff is recommending approval of this application because it meets all of the criteria in the LMO. Criteria A is that the street names have not been duplicated. They are not phonetically similar, and they won't be confused with any other street names. The application meets the requirements of this criteria. Criterion B is that the street names are logical, clear, and brief, and that they don't include complicated words. The street names meet the requirements of criterion B. Criterion C is that the street names have an association with Hilton Head Island. The proposed street names were selected because they represent types of indigenous plants and trees on the island. The street names meet the requirements of criterion C. Criterion D is that all the street names proposed for this subdivision are associated with each other. The proposed names meet the criterion as they are all names of plants and or trees that are native to the island. Criterion E includes requirements about naming streets that continue through intersections. For this application, Jonesville Road divides Burlwood Court from Heartleaf Road, and it divides Lone Cypress Trail from Sweet Spire Lane. Spanish Wells Road divides Carolus Lane from Needle Pond Court. It is the desire of Fire Rescue to use different names for these streets to be consistent with best practices for addressing standards. Fire Rescue is currently updating their addressing standards, and those updates will be incorporated into the land management ordinance. For these reasons, this application meets the requirements of criteria E. Criteria F does not apply to this application because the proposed subdivision streets serve the subject property, but would not extend beyond the property. Criteria G requires that new street names generally use the suffixes drive, lane, place, road, street, or way. It also requires that court be used for street terminating in a cul-de-sac. The proposed street names, including Burlwood Court, meet the requirements of criterion G. Criterion H doesn't apply to this application because the subject roadways are rights of way and not access easements. The final criteria I, does not apply to this application because the Bailey's Point subdivision streets are not broken into 2 separate streets. In summary, staff recommends the Planning Commission approve the application because the street names have been vetted by all of the relevant agencies. They refer to plants and trees that are indigenous to the island. They don't include confusing or sound alike names, and they meet the criteria set out in the LMO. So at this time, we'll be happy to answer any questions. Missy Lewick is also available in case you have any questions.
All right, let's go through the discussion order here. We'll start with
Excuse me,
Pardon?
Chair. Hi, Missy Lewick here for the record. I just have one correction in that it's 147 unit development, not 210.
All right, that's an important point. May I ask staff, and I'm not sure who this is addressed to, but where is this development in the process? In other words, are we just lining up, has this application, has this development gone through the process on the Hilton Head Island? And where is it?
This application is currently under review. It's not yet approved, but it's nearing its approval.
Will it be coming through planning commission, the rezoning or anything?
No,
It won't be. So this is the only time we're gonna have a crack at this, right?
yes.
Okay, fair enough. All right, let's go through the discussion order here. Mr. Commissioner Hens, do you have any questions? We're gonna take down the slides if you will.
Well, this isn't related to the business at hand, but just to follow up, Mr. Chairman, of your curiosity, can you tell us who the developer is and what type of housing this is going to be, just for our interest?
The applicant is Carolina Engineering. I'm gonna have to look at who the developer is. It's going to be developed in 3 phases. So the first phase is on the other side of Jonesville Road, north of the wetlands, and that's 81 lots. The second phase is north of Spanish Wells Road. It's 37 lots. And then the third phase is 29 lots. This is a 0 lot line development. And a portion of one of those phases are attached townhomes.
Let me ask, is this a redevelop? This is not a redevelopment, but is there any zoning changes involved in these properties?
No.
No, so it's all multi-residential. Okay. All right.
Chairman, I have no further questions.
Thank you, Tom. Is Jim Collett on the line yet? No?
Yes, I am.
Jim, do you have any questions for the staff?
No. No.
Okay, Rick Arienzo. I'm going to work to learn how to say that properly, believe me. But Rick, do you have any questions?
It's Darienzo and no questions.
Okay, thank you, Rick. Mr. Campbell, do you have any questions?
Yeah, is this going to be a gated community?
I don't believe there are gates. No.
Okay, all right. Yeah, no other questions.
Vice Chairman Perry.
No questions at this time.
Okay, Mr. Alfred, any questions?
No questions at this time.
Mr. Seabold, any questions?
No questions.
Okay, and myself, I think my questions have been answered in terms of where this project lies in the total process. Is there any other questions or discussions before we move on? It's a good time to raise your hand if you have one. All right. So we need a motion to accept this proposal. Do I have such a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Head, second by Mr.
Second.
Alfred.
Second, but
Now, we are just approving the new street names with this vote, correctly? Is that right? That's right. Okay, all in favor, please signify by raising your right hand.
Aye.
my hand's up, Collett.
Okay. And any opposed, please raise your hand. Okay, so I have an 8-0 vote in favor of adopting this proposal. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Let's see here. Thank you, staff. We appreciate your briefing.
Thank you.
Under commission business, we have in your packet is a list of meeting dates for 2022. And is there any discussion on those meeting dates?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'm not going to be able to make the 9 o'clock meetings, so I would love it if we could make all of these meetings at 3 o'clock next year.
So, my first year on the commission, that came up, and there is a method to the madness of one meeting at 9 in the morning and one at 3 in the afternoon each month. And that is because all of us have other things that we need to do. I'd like to accommodate you, Tom, but I don't think that it's going to be feasible to do that. You won't be able to make any Wednesday morning meetings. Is that what you're saying?
I have a class that I teach on Wednesday morning.
Chairman
Uh,
Scanlon, can I interrupt for a second?
Yes, Ann, please.
I just wanted to mention, we did set a meeting for the Rules of Procedure Committee that's coming up. One of the items to discuss in changing the rules of procedure is the number of times that the commission will meet each month. And staff is recommending moving from 2 meetings a month to 1 meeting a month. And we're in fact recommending maintaining that third Wednesday meeting at 3:00 p.m. That may resolve Mr. Hunn's issue.
Well,
if
I
that
hope
moves
so.
forward.
If that would be great. Fewer meetings, that's better for me too. Well, Tom, we'll just have to see how this goes. And I appreciate your speaking up on the issue. We'll see what we can do. If you get us down to 1 meeting a month at 3:00, I'm going to buy you a drink somewhere. Okay.
Chocolate milk.
Okay, but for right now, I need a motion and a second to adopt these schedules as we have them before us today. Do I have such a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Alan moves it and John Campbell seconds it. All right. All in favor of adopting this meeting schedule, even if it's for tentative purposes, please raise your hand.
My hand's up.
Everybody's hands up. I've got 8-0 in favor of the meeting schedule at this time, but we may find it changing later on. And I would like to say for the record, I'm all for 1 big meeting a month as opposed to 2. I think most of you feel the same way. With regard to the chairman's report, I apologize for the video problems we were having and audio problems also at the last meeting where I was had to turn everything over to Alan. But I do want to say that I did have a very, very nice lunch with the mayor and with the town manager, Mr. Orlando, talking about the relationship of the planning commission to town council. And at that point, we talked about his strategic plan. I congratulated him because I thought it fit well into the 20-year comprehensive, our plan, which a lot of us worked on. And there were no real conflicts that I could see. His is much more tactical. Ours is strategic, the one we passed last year. But I've asked Mr. Orlando to come and brief us on the strategic plan, especially with those elements that will come through the planning commission. So he's agreed to do that, and then hopefully before the end of the year, we'll have a full-fledged briefing on the town's new strategic plan. That's all I have in the way of committee reports. Chairman's report. I'll go on to committee reports. Mr. O'Neill is not on the line, so I don't think we'll have one on CIP. Is anybody else on CIP know if there's a meeting scheduled anytime soon? I guess not.
No meeting.
I'm on the committee, but have heard nothing about the next.
Upcoming. Okay. Well, your session tends to be in the spring, winter and spring. Your issues will be there'll be plenty for you to chew on. Comprehensive plan, John. Anything there? No. Okay.
No, we're all good.
All right. The Gula Geechee Task Force, John.
No, we didn't have a meeting yet.
You have an upcoming meeting. Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Collett, are you in a position to give me a call after this meeting to talk about that?
Sure. Be happy to.
Okay. Yeah, please give me a call after we adjourn. Thank you. LMO committee, Alan Perry.
There's nothing to report.
Nothing to report. Rules of procedure, Mr. Alfred, do you have a meeting coming up?
Yes, you just heard Ann mention that the committee will have its first meeting on Monday, the 10th of January.
Okay, thank you. All right, that concludes committee reports. Staff reports. Ann or anyone else have a staff report for us before you? Ann has a scheduling thing. She has to leave, so we'll let her talk quickly.
Yes, I'll be very brief. Thank you so much.
Just to know, we don't have any agenda items for the December 1st meeting. And as Mr. Alfred said, we have a meeting for the Rules of Procedure Committee on Monday, January 10th at 2:30 p.m. And just to note, if you would mark on your calendars, the Planning Commission will be invited to Town Council's Workforce Housing Workshop on January 26th at 10 a.m. Right now, the meeting is in person only, but our IT department is working to see if they can broadcast that meeting. So please just mark your calendars. We'll send formal invitations later.
Are
Thanks.
we moving to in-person meetings first of the year? Is there a fixed date when we go to in-person meetings again?
As soon as I have information about that, I'll share with you, but unfortunately, I don't have any definitive information yet.
Yeah,
Did I say that?
I told town council yesterday that
Yeah,
we do not like Zoom meetings.
I think they said they were going to start in-person meetings at the first of the year.
Yeah, they did say something to that effect. But I just want to keep them prodded and moving in that direction. Anything else, Ann, for us?
No, that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ann. Thank you, Teresa. If there are no further items to come before us, I'm going to adjourn this meeting. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Mike, can you send me your phone number so I can be sure to get it right?